The sky above what used to be Denver was the color of a bruise. Ethan Cross hadn't seen a blue sky in 11 months. Not since the Kelthari arrived, vast, serpentine creatures trailing bioluminescent wings across the stratosphere like living auroras. Beautiful. Terrifying. And utterly indifferent to the 8 billion humans scrambling beneath them. Most of humanity called it the extinction event. Ethan called it Tuesday. He crouched behind a collapsed highway overpass, crossbow in hand, watching a Kelthari patrol sweep the ruins below. They moved like smoke given muscle, 4 of the lesser drones, each the size of a city bus, their scales catching what little gray light filtered through the ash clouds. They were hunting. Ethan had learned to tell the difference between a patrol and a hunt by the angle of their neck crests. These crests were flat. Aggressive. Someone tripped a sensor grid, he thought, not moving a single muscle. He'd been living like this for almost a year. Alone, mobile, silent. He'd survived the initial bombardment in a subway tunnel, survived the food wars in the refugee camps, survived the mass evacuation that became a mass casualty event when the Kelthari decided the fleeing columns of humans looked too much like a military formation. Survival, Ethan had discovered, was mostly about not being interesting. The patrol moved on. He exhaled slowly and began picking his way deeper into the ruins. He never heard her land. One moment the rooftop was empty. The next, something vast and warm pressed him flat against the concrete, a taloned hand, with actual fingers, 4 of them plus a thumb, wrapped around his torso with enough casual strength to crack his ribs if she squeezed. Ethan did not scream. He did not struggle. He went completely limp. The grip loosened. Slightly. "You did not run," said a voice above him. Low, resonant, like a cello played in a cathedral. But there was surprise in it. Genuine surprise. Running seemed counterproductive, Ethan said, very carefully, into the concrete. A pause. "Then, you may turn over." He turned over slowly, keeping his hands visible, crossbow deliberately angled away. And he looked up at Princess Valeth of the Kelthari Third Clutch for the first time. She was enormous. 8 feet of coiled, scaled predator crouched over him, her wings half-furled like a cathedral's vaulted arches. Her scales were deep violet shading to silver at the edges, and her eyes, all 4 of them, were the color of molten copper, arranged in a vertical column down her face. Her crest, he noticed immediately, was not flat. It was raised, but trembling. The posture of something in pain trying to look dangerous. She was bleeding. Long scoring wounds across her left flank, the bioluminescence leaking from them like a cracked glow stick. "You are injured," Ethan said. "I am aware." Her 4 copper eyes studied him with an intensity that felt like being X-rayed. "You are the human who has survived 11 months in Sector 7. Alone. You've been watching me. The patrol commanders noted you as an anomaly. You avoid detection with a consistency that is." She seemed to search for the word, statistically improbable for a lone human. Ethan sat up slowly. She let him. "You didn't have to pin me to a roof to tell me that. I required confirmation that you were real, and not a fabricated sensor ghost." Her crest trembled again. "And I require assistance." He looked at the wounds again. Then at her. Then back at the wounds. "You're in exile." The crest snapped upright. Her 4 eyes narrowed to hot copper slits. "You recognized the marking pattern," she said. "It wasn't a question." "I've had 11 months to study Kelthari social signaling," Ethan said. "Those wounds aren't from a fight. They're ritual. Your own kind did that to you." A long silence. Below them, somewhere distant, a structure groaned and collapsed. "My clutch father has allied with the Vethkai faction," Valeth said finally. "I opposed the continuation of the surface culling. The Vethkai doctrine is." Her lip curled back from teeth that could have bitten a truck in half, absolute. They want this world emptied. And you don't. I want resources. This world has them. Dead worlds produce nothing. Her eyes moved to the ruins around them, the collapsed skyline, the ash-gray sky. My clutch father called my position weakness. He performed the exile rite himself. So you're alone, Ethan said. An exile Kelthari princess with no clutch, no territory, no protection. Yes. On a planet you tried to save, where every human alive wants to kill you. Yes. Ethan Cross looked at Princess Valeth for a long moment. The wind moved through the ruins. Somewhere a crow, actual crow, they were doing fine, crows were always doing fine, called twice and fell silent. What exactly, he said, are you proposing? She held his gaze with all four of her copper eyes. Among my people, an exile who takes a bondmate from another species establishes a new clutch line. It is not common. But it is law. My clutch father cannot move against a recognized clutch without invoking the full conclave's judgment. He does not have that authority yet. So you need a mate, Ethan said slowly. For legal protection. For survival, she said. The bond is political. Formal. I do not require, she made a gesture with one great hand that managed to convey both dignity and awkwardness, biological contribution. Kelthari clutch bonds are oaths, not. The human equivalent would be a diplomatic marriage. A marriage of convenience. If that is the human terminology, yes. Ethan stood up. He dusted concrete powder off his jacket, very deliberately. He checked the string tension on his crossbow. Then he looked back up at her. What do I get, he said. She blinked. All four eyes, in sequence. He got the impression she hadn't expected that question. Survival. My protection. Kelthari law would. I've been surviving fine, Ethan said. 11 months. Alone. You said it yourself, statistically improbable. He tilted his head. What do I get? Not what do I avoid. What do I gain? Another long silence. But this one felt different. Less calculating. More uncertain. I have knowledge of every patrol route, every sensor grid, every Vethkai installation on this continent, Valeth said slowly. I know where survivor camps still exist, 400,000 humans in the northern mountain ranges whom my clutch father has not yet located. I know which Kelthari commanders are persuadable. I know the supply lines. The weaknesses. Her crest rose, fully, for the first time, proud, involuntary. I know how to win a war against my own people. I was trained to. Ethan Cross was quiet for 10 full seconds. 400,000 survivors, he said. Minimum. I believe closer to 6. He looked at the ash sky. Then at the ruins. Then at her, the bleeding, exiled, inconveniently principled alien dragon princess crouching on a broken rooftop, offering him the strangest deal in human history. Ground rules, he said. Her crest flickered. Rules? If we're doing this right. I don't do ceremonial. I don't do symbolic. You give me the patrol routes, I start moving people. You want to rebuild something on this planet? We rebuild something on this planet, together. Not you protecting humans. Not me serving as a political prop. Partnership. Valeth stared at him. All four copper eyes, unreadable. You are negotiating, she said. With me. Yes. I am 8 feet tall and I could end you in 3 seconds. You're also bleeding on a rooftop and you came to me, Ethan said. So. Ground rules. Yes or no? The wind moved through the ruins. A crow called again, closer this time. Princess Valeth, third clutch royal, exile, and apparently the only Kelthari on the planet who'd made the extraordinary error of developing a conscience, slowly extended one great violet hand. Yes, she said. Ethan Cross shook it. 4 fingers and a thumb closed around his hand with exquisite care. Okay, he said. First thing, those wounds need cleaning or you're going to be useless to both of us. What do Kelthary respond to medically? Because I've got a kit and about 40 minutes before that patrol loops back. She blinked again. You carry medical supplies. I carry everything. I told you. 11 months. He was already pulling the kit from his pack. Sit down. You're too tall and it's making my neck hurt. For the 3rd time in one conversation, Princess Valeth of the Kelthary 3rd Clutch was surprised by a human. She sat down. Later, she would tell the conclave that she had chosen her bondmate for his tactical intelligence, his survival capability, his strategic value. She would not mention that he had treated her wounds with careful, steady hands and hadn't flinched once. She would not mention that he'd complained the entire time that she was being dramatic about the pain. She would not mention that somewhere over the ruined city of Denver, between a crossbow and a med kit and a very improbable negotiation, something had shifted. Humans, Princess Valeth was beginning to understand, were not prey. They were partners. And the Vethkai faction had made a catastrophic miscalculation.